Most men today believe there's only two ways to meet women: at dating events or on dating apps. And then when they don't get the connections they want, they think there's something wrong with them. In this video, I'm going to tell you why those places aren't working so well for you and the exact places where you need to go to meet women this year. I want you to start investing your time in places that are naturally community driven, where there's easy points of social interaction, where you can kind of enjoy going anyway. And I want you to deprioritize environments where you might feel really pressured, where people have emotionally checked out of the dating process. By the way, if starting conversations with women in real life feels intimidating, I would really encourage you to get my guide on meeting women in real life as a beginner. Just click the link in this video. The experience I hear guys having is that even when they do get a match, and that is rare, that when you arrive on the date with her, it doesn't feel like a first date. It feels like a 0.5 date where she's kind of guarded, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, and doesn't really seem open genuinely to getting to know you. It's certainly not impossible to find a great relationship on a dating app. I've known many guys that have had success with them. But if it's your only channel to meet women and it's not working for you, it can feel brutal as an experience. I think speed dating can be good for practice, but do I think it's the best place to meet women? No. That's because both men and women often find those 3 or 4 minute mini dates highly pressurized and pretty awkward. It's hard to build a connection. And unless the event organizer is seriously good, you can also hit other problems like 50% of the women don't turn up. So it ends up being like 10 men and 3 women. Suddenly the odds can feel stacked against you. A lot of dating coaches out there will encourage you to go on social media to meet women. And I get why this sounds appealing. Like a dating app, it kind of feels like you can meet women without really ever having to face up to rejection or having that face-to-face moment with her. But in reality, social media works best when you have an extremely well-curated profile. It's something you're willing to maintain and be proactive on, and you share organic social circles with some of the women you're meeting. Without that strong profile, without that constant engagement, without the real world social circles to back it up, social media, again, can be a huge amount of effort for very little reward. So I consider social media as a secondary channel to stay in touch with women you've met, not as the primary way for you to meet someone. If you're naturally social or extroverted, evening-style bar environments can still work well, but the type of venue matters a lot. If you're a professional living in a fairly cosmopolitan area, those after-work drinking spots, particularly ones that have rooftops or terraces or lounge bars with more open space, can be fantastic places to meet women. What doesn't work so well are places that are like clubs. Heavy drinking, tons of competition, everyone in big groups, loud music. If you're highly sociable, you have a big network of people to go out with, they can work well, but for most guys, they're not going to be a great shout. Understanding how to meet women in these different social environments is something myself and my coaching team really specialize in our real world dating boot camps. That's right, we take you out into the real world to learn how to meet women face to face. These are some of the best places to meet women right now. Things like bouldering, dance clubs, running clubs give you a natural opportunity to socially interact. Fitness-based activities also might attract a lot of the women that you want to meet. Plus, because you're doing something together, they're packed with conversation starters. The only caveat to this is, for example, if you turn up to like a salsa class and there's only 3 new people to meet and you keep going to that same class every week, then you're not optimizing to meet new people. Instead, I would encourage you to use something like ClassPass to allow you to hop around to lots of different activities or exercise classes to maximize your chances of meeting women. Lots of attractive women will never go to a singles event. I think they should do, but women will find sometimes singles events kind of awkward, or they just simply won't need to go to one because they're already meeting so many new people. This is why if you swap your focus slightly away from singles events and onto networking events, dinner clubs, cultural talks, co-working place talks, these will attract A group of people that are naturally socially open, lots of them because they have the time to go, will also be single, but because it's not branded as a singles event, it can feel more accessible for her to attend. Plus, you know that everyone there is already interested in meeting someone else, which definitely will help you to get that conversation started. This is something I teach heavily on my coaching programs and something that really helps you to have success with women, whether you live in a big city like New York or London, or you're out in the Midwest or up a mountain in Norway. If you can optimize to have small daily social interactions in coffee shops, bookstores, grocery stores, suddenly your social world opens up. This doesn't mean that you have to go around hitting on people everywhere, but it does mean you stay socially open and connected, and that you absolutely practice daily conversations with people who you do not know. You'll be amazed that simply by starting real life conversations, being brave enough to keep the conversation going, and if there's a connection, asking for someone's contact details, how this not only leads to dates, but it leads to dates where you both know that you're interested in each other. And it's not a 0.5 date, it's not a number one date, it's like a 1.5 date, because instead of turning it up kind of guarded or uncertain, she's going to turn up excited to get to know this confident guy who's just walked up to her. So right now, if you're just relying on apps and dating events, whilst these places can work and you should do them, this shouldn't be where you stop when it comes to meeting women. Tons of the men I work with actually have never performed that well at either of those events, but have gone on to have crazy levels of success just by changing up how and where they meet women. If you want to start practicing meeting women in real life, you can come along to one of my dating boot camps. If you're not quite ready for that yet, click the link in my bio and you'll get my free guide on how to meet women in real life as a beginner.